Quite a few thousand spectators turned up. We're going to have a look at the first semi-final. And you can see the beautifully turned out Calibra of Erwin Doctor. He's starting to get some results in that now. Marc Soulet, the big man, who can just about tuck himself into his Cosworth there. And it'll be interesting to see how they get on here. Let's have a look at the two of them. So accelerating down the straight, but of course it's a funny old game, this Rallycross Challenge, because you don't get any idea until the stagger has worked itself out, if you see what I mean. It's rather like an athletics track in a way. Doctor seems to have really got to grips with this one now, and he is an exciting driver to watch. Through the splash he goes. And I think we're going to be seeing the Calibras doing really well in the next season. Bruno Thierry was driving a Calibra. They were trying to iron out a few of the faults, and I think we're going to see a few of them doing quite well in the coming season, as I said. The old stalwart. Be interesting to see how Marc Soulet gets on here. Through the very narrow gate by the bales there, and after one lap they change sides, and you can see that Doctor has got quite an advantage now, but Marc Soulet now moves onto the outside of the circuit and onto the faster part of the circuit. We get a chance to follow him around. A bit slow going around there, to be honest. Lost a bit of traction on the loose. Driving nice and smoothly here onto the tarmac. And he's away on the fast part of the circuit now for his final lap. Calibra looks as if it's going well here, well round the corners there. He's had contact, as you can see, with his front left on something there, but it doesn't seem to have slowed him down too much, and Erwin Doctor working hard inside the cockpit. Well, Marc Soulet now starting to chase. He is on the faster part of the circuit, and you should see, whoa, he didn't do very well going through the water splash there. Very slow indeed, and very nearly took a bit of the tyre wall away. Valkenswaard used as a car testing circuit as well as for rallycross, of course. Now let's have a look and see how close they really are. You never really get an idea until you look at the start-finish line. And Marc Soulet, I think, has pulled back. Wow, this is one of the closer ones we've seen, and Marc Soulet pulled back. So he wins the first semi-final. Little heat there. Erwin Doctor's put his Calibra back on the trailer. Marc Soulet goes through to the final. And now we see Snijers and Blomqvist. What can you say about Stig Blomqvist, really? 47 years of age and still one of the best drivers in the world. Here he is, look.
It's quite fun, but it's very, very slippery in some places.
Do you think you can beat these Dutch and Belgian drivers?
You never know in competition like this. You need a bit of luck as well.
How is the car going?
The car is going okay, so that's not the problem. It's just to get around every corner without any problem.
Shouldn't be too much of a problem for Stig. He's been winning things for 20 years. I've got a... Well, they're away, and Snijers, of course, we haven't been talking about. We've been concentrating on Stig Blomqvist, but Snijers is a formidable competitor and a beautifully turned out Cosworth, of course, but very misleading. You really ought to just concentrate on the driving styles at this stage, because Snijers is on the fast part of the circuit at the moment, and he's going to appear as if he's in the lead. And you see Blomqvist on the backside there with the Nissan just disappearing out of view. Takes the water jump really well. Blomqvist, awesome, totally awesome, chucking his little Nissan around there. He's got special fuel in the car for this event, and it sounds absolutely beautiful. Look at this man in action. And now then, after the first lap, Snijers looks as if he's in the lead, but of course it is a bit misleading here. And I would say that Snijers probably is just in the lead if you compare this performance with the others. But then it'll be interesting to see how the little Nissan gets on the faster outside part of the circuit, and how the Ford managed to handle the more windy and slower part. Oh! Well, total disaster there. He's going to lose a lot of time. Blomqvist, it's got to be Snijers now. Snijers won't know that's happened, of course. So Patrick Snijers should have a pretty clear lead unless he makes a mistake at this stage. And that could then be an all-Ford final, which Snijers has got to win, I would have thought. But Blomqvist still chasing hard through the water jump, takes that well. The water splash, I mean. It's not show jumping, this is it. And the two of them negotiating all the loose sections really quite well. So the final corner for Snijers, and no sight of Blomqvist, and he gets the old Marshall running all over the circuit there. And that Marshall wondered what was going on. And as we thought, Stig Blomqvist really did lose it all on that little hairpin, that left-hander, he got it all wrong. And across the line he goes. So the problem there for Stig. So look at this, an all-Ford final between Marc Soulet and Patrick Snijers. Same motor cars pretty much. So it'll be interesting to see how they get on. Co-drivers, Danny Kolbanders. Now Marc Soulet, if he's feeling good, could challenge Snijers. A pretty even start they got there. Snijers, of course, on the long start-finish straight, storms off. Now what we've got to look for here is really any mistakes that either of them make, because they're pretty equally matched, and Marc Soulet is looking pretty competitive, even though he's on that slower section right now. So let's have a look at the first water splash. Snijers and Danny Kolbanders through there nice and safe and sound. And there's the big form of Marc Soulet. Driving beautifully, and the cars sound wonderful, these Sierras. He's keeping a nice smooth line through there, Soulet. Keeping the speed just flowing gently and nicely. And driving beautiful. Whoa! And just a bit too close to the bail, but I don't think it cost him much time. Snijers using the grass banking there, coming up to the right-hander. One of the crowd's favourite vantage points there. And we get a chance to see Marc Soulet taking that. Difficult to say whether he was fast or slow there, to be honest. I'm not going to make any predictions on this at all until we see them coming round at the end of that first lap. Then we get some idea of the difference between them. Well, he's close, look. He's absolutely flying on. He's spun it there. Well, he's actually come into contact with something around the back of the circuit. He's lost his front spoiler, so he's going to have lost quite a lot of time on that, I think. And you can see stuff flapping around off the front of Marc Soulet's Sierra. So, Snijers, impeccable form. I don't think he's touched anything going around this circuit yet. And he mustn't in any way think that he's got it in the bag. Very wide there. He lost a little bit of time there, did Snijers, because he has to in his mind. Right, let's have a look at it here. Oh! Well, he's got big problems with his steering. I don't know, he must have hit something very hard. And so the winners of the super final are Snijers and Danny Kolbanders. He's even got little bits hanging off, and yeah. Well, it was close though. And he's very disappointed, and the steering arm's gone completely there. And he was still in with a chance there, even despite that. So it shows how fast he can be on a good day. And here he goes again, another set of tyres off to the scrapyard. So the crowd like that. And well done to Patrick Snijers.
De vorige reeks hebben we de finale plaats verloren omdat ik even de motor moest kopiëren.
Yeah, he's saying the last time he was out in this event, he had problems with the turbo, so he had to turn his engine off so he didn't blow everything up. So he didn't really have a chance last time out, but this time he said everything went well. I really enjoyed it. Well, a good driver he is and a great competitor too. Nice guy. Patrick Snijers, the winner of the Marlborough International Rally Challenge. Valkenswaard. So we look forward to seeing that in 1993 at Valkenswaard. And hard lap to Marc Soulet. So near, but so far away. Isn't that often the case for Marc Soulet? It's maybe a little too often the case.